My name is Dr. Kimberly Glow, and I am a conscious medicine physician from Longmont, Colorado. My journey with medicine didn't begin until late in college when I was near graduation, actually. I always wanted to be a lawyer because I had this drive and this mission to help people. And I always wanted to help people that were in need, people that were underserved, etc. And so it's surprising that I completely changed at the last minute, I guess, to medicine, but that happened because I was doing research in neurodevelopmental, in the neurodevelopmental lab, actually, because I was a psych major. And my thought was, I'll be a psychology major, really learn more about psychology, then go to law. But it turned out when I started doing this neurodevelopmental research, I really got sucked into medicine because what I discovered was I loved reading everything about medicine and human physiology and mind-body medicine. And once I discovered that I loved doing that so much, it didn't make sense to force myself to read boring law books. And so I completely changed the course and ended up going into medicine, and I've never looked back. I have an interesting story in that I became very sick at one point in my life with a lot of different, I guess we could say diseases or symptoms or both. And I was labeled with several different autoimmune diseases and went to a lot of different subspecialists. I was very sick. And I ended up finding out that I had an autoimmune thyroid disease at one point. And I was told by the subspecialist that when you have an autoimmune thyroid disease, there's nothing you do. You wait until your thyroid burns out. For most people, it takes about 5 years or so, and then you get on thyroid medicine for the rest of your life. And so, because I was at a very good teaching hospital with a very good endocrinologist, I believed that was the truth, and that's what I did. I did nothing. I just kind of let my body do what it did. And as I started feeling worse and worse, there was a part of me that felt like something's wrong. This can't be right. I never heard of you just ignore things. So I took it upon myself to start doing a lot of deep research. And I have to say I was horrified. I know that's a strong word, but that is the word. Because when I discovered everything that I discovered in my deep research, I was saddened, I was disillusioned, because I realized that everything that I had learned in medical school, I don't want to say was useless because that's not the right way to say it, but it's just that what we learn in medicine is really different than what you need to manage chronic disease. It's really more of a acute approach. It's more of a Band-Aid approach in so many different ways, but it doesn't really help get to the root cause of what's causing things to happen. So I ended up retraining myself completely. And when I did that, it opened up an entire new world for me and a new way to take care of my patients. I was able to reverse my autoimmune disease completely on my own with the work that I did and all the training that I did. Part of that also was leading me into some personal exploration because of personal things going on in my life. I started to go deep into my spiritual practices. I went to yoga teacher training, and that opened up an entire new world for me, where then I ventured into Ayurvedic medicine, and I started getting involved in energy medicine, mind-body work. And what's interesting is when you start opening up all those doors and your mind literally gets blown because you cannot believe there's this entire world of information out there that when you're in medical school, you're often having these blinders on where you're doing this Western medicine approach to learning. But when the blinders come off and you see what's out there, it opens up things in a way that changes everything. And serendipities and synchronicities begin to occur that are always leading us in that path of fulfilling our dharma. And so NES came to me in one of those serendipitous ways. I just know I was on the computer one day, and I don't remember if a pop-up came on my screen or something that led me to literally discovered NES out of nowhere. And so my curiosity got the better of me because I'm in a different headspace now with my mind open. And I started reading about it and I thought, well, this sounds really interesting. But of course, being the Western medicine brain that I still have, there's that skeptical side of me. And so I ordered it and tried it. And I thought, because I'm open-minded and I do believe in energy and I do believe in, Ayurvedic medicine and yoga, I thought I'm gonna check this out. And so again, my mind was blown, in another way, because what this system ended up doing for me, and for those that I've used it with in terms of my clients, what I love about this system is that for me, it was this beautiful blending of Eastern and Western medicine in a technology that is super cool and super user-friendly. And because I do, Ayurvedic medicine approaches in my clinic, and I do this yogic, a yogic philosophy in my clinic and a yogic approach to healing, this system married, as far as my brain is concerned, yoga with Ayurveda and modern new technology science, and allowed me to now analyze patients in a way that I couldn't do before. And it gave me this extra layer of information, and it allowed me to help my clients go even deeper. And when that happens, it changes the way the healing landscape occurs completely, because it helps the patient and I uncover things that we might not have uncovered before with the use of the system. Recently, this is a client who is in perimenopause. And so she came to me with the classic things that you would think about somebody with perimenopause may have. She was having symptoms of increased anxiety during the day, which couldn't be explained, trouble with sleeping at night, weight gain that started to occur around the midsection, even though she was exercising more and even eating better than she ever had, eaten before. And so she felt like she was doing all the right things, but still feeling exhausted every single day, feeling like she would go to bed at night and then feel not rested in the morning. And so she came to me looking for answers for all of these things. And so as a medical physician, there's a lot of different things that we looked at in terms of going deeper for root cause. We looked at things such as neurotransmitters, we looked at hormones, we did organic acids, amino acids, and we even did a full gastrointestinal profile looking at the microbiome and looking at any patterns that were going on there in terms of maybe bacteria, parasites, yeast, etc. So once we got all those results back, we were able to hone in on areas that she needed specific support with. And then the other thing that I added on was the NES scan, so that we can look at any type of energetic blocks that might be taking place that she may not be aware of. And I also like to use the system as talking points. And so, because I think when you use the system, you'll see it opens up areas of discussion, which can then help guide you in terms of further healing modalities and different things that you can use to help your client further. And so when we used the scanner, we actually uncovered some really interesting things that were coming from very deep in her past that she had literally forgotten about, but the system triggered some memories and areas of discussion. And we used the recommendations from the scan, and we were able to come up with a plan for her moving forward using some of the infoceuticals, which I can tell you, she called me within a couple days of starting the infoceuticals and said she felt completely different. She felt like her energy level had gone through the roof in a really short period of time. And using the night infoceutical in particular, she noticed that now she was sleeping through the night and not waking up repeatedly as she was before. So that was huge. My number one tip for practitioners is to consider purchasing an additional mihealth device for your practice to offer as a rental, so that individuals that might be on the fence, aren't sure if they actually want to purchase a mihealth device until they experience the benefits of using the device, will have an opportunity to do that. And so I've done that in my practice. I rent out the device for my clients so that they really get to use it, not just for one time, but they can use it for a week at a time. They can use it for a month at a time, depending on how that works for them. And that gives them an opportunity to really get to use the device, not only with the settings that we can pre-program for them based on the scan that we just did, but they can also play around with the different folders, and they can experience maybe the Chinese cycle and sleep with it overnight. They can use some of the emotional settings or some of the mind settings. And I have found that doing that has just been a huge game changer for me, because the clients learn to actually trust the system because it's working for them. And they feel good about purchasing it because they've had the opportunity to use it for an extended period of time. So my practice is super cool because it's a women-only practice, and my mission in life is to help women live their best life possible. And with the recent COVID lockdowns and stress resulting from that, it became clear to me that a lot of women were suffering emotionally with their relationships, contemplating whether or not they should stay or leave, figuring out whether their relationship is toxic and they need to get out. And so I did write a book called Alchemize Your Divorce, Turn Your Toxic Stress of Your Marriage into Abundant Energy for Life. And I'm really excited about it because it is an experience. It's not just a book. And it takes women chapter by chapter through my favorite chick flick movies. And my suggestion is read the book and watch the movies with your bestie, and go through the music, go through all of the little exercises that I have in there, because it's just full of beautiful tips and tools to help you live the most energetically balanced and beautiful life ever, because women, we deserve it.